What's going on, peeps? Just chilling out here in nature, man. In peace. Enjoying myself. Something came to my mind. I was just pondering it. I'm just thinking about how much they planned for this time. Because if you look through scriptures, it says if anybody comes in this time and it says that they're the Christ. So basically they put the Christ out. They said that Christ was here 2,000 years ago, which something, the energy, a shift. In that time when you hear about the period when Christ, the physical being Christ was meant to be on earth, there was a shift. So basically a portal opened that was the opening for the Christ consciousness. So there would have been a lot of beings in that time. Like you see how we're all awakening now and we're all going through that kind of happened then. You see what I'm saying? So not kind of, it did happen then. That was the start of it. So there would have been a whole bunch of people talking the truth. And there was the Gnostics, the original Christians, the original Cushites, who had the original teachings of the Christ passed down from Egypt. Yeah. Our original teachings, when we was in the ancient days, we wouldn't have written down. We would have had it all recited in our souls and our hearts and minds. We would have known all these teachings that you're seeing written down would have been in our souls. We would have knew it off by heart. So all these teachings, it's in your heart, it's in your soul. You just forgotten, especially the gods. Not the ones who are to get ministered to. Like I said, there's teachers and there's students on this earth. And the gods have all the information. Okay? So that's why they have it all over scriptures. If anybody says that they're Christ, if anybody says that, if anybody talks anything like they're godlike, it's blasphemy. Why do they think about it? Why is that all over this? Why have they interjected that into religion? Because if you really read into the scriptures, you can see that Christ is not talking about him dying and coming back to life physically. You can see that he's talking about a metaphysical inner realm, spiritual death, death of the ego. You have two births in this life. You have the physical birth, the water birth, and then you have the spiritual birth, where your soul is born, your soul is reborn. And that's what we're going through now. That's the resurrection. So they knew this time was coming, so they planned for this time for thousands of years. They've known it because it's written all in the Gnostics. The Egyptians wrote about it, the Mayans wrote about it, the Aztecs wrote about it, Asia, Africa, the Zulus, the Native Americans, everyone spoke about this time. And everyone had their own Christ. It wasn't just one man. They had a different name for it. You see what I'm saying? Every culture had their own name for a savior who is coming in the last days to fulfill the promise God has promised us. Okay, we fell, we went through suffering. God said that energy itself is going to come down into this earth and go through everything that we went through. You see how God is? The great creator of all wants to endure what we endured to make it all fair before we ascend. So there's no lack of understanding. The Great Spirit, through all of its vessels, is living this experience, going through the suffering through all of its vessels to really experience and find out what it is. And take all these experiences. You see all these experiences, what we're going through. Everything we're seeing, everything we're doing. It's all stored inside of our soul. That's why it says everything you do is written. If you're in deceit, that's written. If you're in truth, that's all written. And it's all stored. And in the end, when this creation goes down, because there's always new eons. It changes, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't just stay as the same eon. An eon will come, like an age, it will come, and it will die out, and then a new eon will come. And then whatever blueprint from the old eon will be interjected into the new one, but then certain things that went wrong in the old one, mistakes, errors, will be sieved out and they won't be present in the new creation. So it's a beautiful time that we're in. It's not actually a downtime. It's actually one of the most pivotal, greatest, beautifulest times in the whole of creation. It's not just us, other beings and other planets. This is like the biggest thing going on in the galaxy right now. All eyes are on us from the inner realms, from the unseen realms. So they planned for it. They made sure that because we are gods, we have to step into our godliness. We're coming out of the age of belief. The age of belief was the Piscean era. We're going into the age of knowing now, the Aquarium age. Aquarius, air, flowing, communication. So we have to know. We have to step out of belief systems now. Belief systems was the old era. That was the Piscean era. Now we have to step into the era of knowing what we are, knowing our greatest, knowing who we are. No more belief systems, because belief systems can get manipulated. When you know what you are, you can't be manipulated, you can't be tricked. But if you believe, somebody can change your belief and interject and put in what they want, what they prefer, what's better for them, not better for you, for the people in control. But their time's up. It's over. It's done. It's just that it has to play out. It has to filter out, but it's actually done. It's already finished. Obviously, it wouldn't just be over and they'll just come out and announce it. Say, yeah, it's all done. No, they're going to play the game and hopefully think that people ain't going to realize, but it's already done. It says it in the scriptures. They're fighting a losing battle. This battle has already been won because it's truth. How can an illusion beat truth? It's an illusion. It's not real. It's illusionary. Once all of us wake up to it, that's it. There's no such thing as the illusion anymore because we're creating it. We're perpetuating it. So we're perpetuating the illusion, we're creating it, we keep it going within our conscious minds. When we believe in the lie, we keep it going. Okay? But slowly but surely, each soul is waking up to this. And this whole COVID, all this, even though they try to use it as a control and to scare us out of what's really going on, the fact that we are waking up to who and what we are. So they tried to scare us with it, but it had a reverse. It actually is waking us up to what and who we are. So whatever they try to use to oppress us, to control us, to push us into a box, eventually it just puts pressure onto us like a diamond, and then fire. Yeah, pressure produces diamonds and fire produces gold. So that's what happens when they apply pressure to us. But eventually we're just going into our greatness. So they're just doing God's work unknowingly. They're working from fear. They think by fear mongering and scaring us and putting out all these lies and all that stuff, they think that that's going to keep the illusion going. But really and truly, it's just making everyone realize that they're liars, and it's just waking us all up. And there's nothing they can do about that. So the illusion's over, and all these lies about, it's vain to say you're a god, and spirituality is like looked on as vanity. You say, I'm great, I'm a god, I love myself, I'm beautiful. You see what I'm saying? It's probably uncomfortable for you to hear me saying that, but that's the way it is. Like, we have to step into that greatness. We have to know our greatness. We have to really love ourselves, because we are carrying God within us. So if we're carrying God within us, this vessel is a temple carrying the energy, the great creator of all. That means we're all beautiful beings. We are gods, manifested into flesh. God wanted to come and see his creation and live in it and experience it. But forgot. When we came down here, we forgot that we was the ones who created it, and started calling up to a God that's sitting inside of us, who we really are. Imagine that. So no wonder why we're sitting there praying all these generations, when really we gotta step into power and become the gods and make shit happen. Not be praying. Make shit happen. But anyway, quick message. Peace and love. Have a good day. Stay in truth. Love.